Hello, I'm Mark Homer, co-founder of Progressive Property. I've been investing in property since 2003. Over the years, I've bought over 500 properties for investors and ourselves, refurbished them, put tenants in, and I subsequently moved into buying offices, buying pubs, and then into retail, converting those buildings into residential. So I've done various schemes over the years. We're just standing in front of a scheme that I'm doing at the moment of 99 apartments, which is being converted from the old Marks and Spencer's building right in the heart of Peterborough. We're putting 3 brand new floors on top. We've got 600 tons of steel going on site. Each floor was 31,000 square foot, and we're going to develop this building into 121,000 square foot of space. I picked this building because it's just over 5 minutes walk to the mainline train station, which will get you into King's Cross in London in 45 minutes. Let's go inside, let me show you around. We're right on site now in one of the courtyards. A huge challenge when you buy retail buildings with a particularly deep floor plate like this was. Most department stores have these deep floor plates. You have to cut through the building often, or at least build up around a courtyard or somewhere that you can get light in through the windows. All the living rooms and all the bedrooms need their own windows. Bathrooms, corridors, kitchens, less so. But as you can see, the project is progressing. We've got over 2/3 of the steel on site, 2 big cranes. I was also attracted to this building because of the great views to the cathedral. During the planning process, that was critical. Views to the cathedral from the ground are something that the council and specifically the conservation officer are really bothered about. It took us about 18 months to get planning on this building because of all these and lots of other considerations. You really have to sort of work with your professionals and the council officers to get to the right position. It makes such a difference if you have the right professionals for the right project. Getting the wrong professionals on a project like this will cost you dearly. So we're building this project in-house. Progressive Developments is actually building this building. So lead times are even more critical. You've got to start very early to make sure that you can get all the planning conditions off, to make sure that you've got all the subcontractors lined up, all of the design is done, the structural engineer has done all his work well ahead of time before you go into the build process. The design process is key. Clearly costs on a site like this are a big deal. If you add £500 a unit on, you've got 100 units, suddenly you've got £50,000 in extra costs. That can add up very quickly. So you need to be very good with your cost control and making sure everything that you're putting in is good quality, but you're getting it for the right price. So we've created 2 courtyards within this building, one where we've removed the roof and gone down to the next level, creating an area where lots of light comes into the building, and another courtyard on the other side, which is actually at roof level, and then we've put extra floors on top either side. All of these flats look out, so you get views of the city, you get plenty of light in. That was what the planners wanted, and that's what we've managed to achieve. Clearly, to make projects like this work, you need to get the buildings at the right price. We managed to make this building work partially because we sold off part of the ground floor to another purchaser. I believe once complete, this will be the largest private rented scheme in Peterborough. Okay, so here's one of the apartments. People are going to be living in here. They've got views to the cathedral, they've got Juliet balcony, lots of lovely windows, so it's going to get light into this apartment. Big part of creating apartments and buildings like this is the compartmentalization between the flats. Fire has become even more relevant in the last few months, and the external elevations of buildings have come right into view post Grenfell. Clearly, the whole build-up of the external, all of the render, all of the cladding systems, all of the panels, they all need to achieve a high fire rating in order to be signed off at the end of the project. Okay, so we're in a 2-bedroom apartment right now, and it fronts the main shopping precinct in Peterborough. We've got 3 sash windows in this apartment, and the conservation officer was very bothered about this elevation because it has good heritage value, and it's right in the middle of a conservation area. So we couldn't change the windows, but we're refurbishing them, repainting them, and putting secondary glazing in to make these apartments nice and quiet. Design is so important on a big building like this. You can see here these huge connections. The engineer certainly hasn't cut any corners on this building. We had to put this disproportionate collapse layer in all the way through the building to tie the building together to ensure that if a bomb went off on the ground floor and a wall was blown out, that this building would stay standing. This is a visualization of what the site will look like once it's finished. You can see here there are quite a few elevations, sides to this building. You can see the 2 courtyards that we were talking about earlier on. The elevation that fronts the pedestrian area, which is particularly sensitive. We've stepped back that floor so that it's not visible from the main thoroughfare. And you can see at the back of the building how we're matching in the colours using various different textures and colours to bring the building alive. As you can see, we're making good progress taking these retail buildings and converting them into residential. So lots of you will be thinking, yeah, that's fine, you're doing that, but how do I start? In 2003, I just went and bought individual properties, and then I moved into refurbishing them, moved into HMOs, and then I moved into converting bigger buildings, and I worked my way up. We can all do the same thing. If we just take small steps and keep going consistently, you can build and get to bigger and bigger projects over time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the Progressive Property channel. I also have a podcast called Mark My Words. It's available on all the platforms, including iTunes. And that's Mark Homer signing out.